Mhm.
I want to ask you, you being an engineer that's coming from a unique background, having worked in the local scene, like you mentioned, a
Mhm.
heart of Meralco, diba? Local.
Mhm. Mhm.
And now you've worked in Hydro Ottawa, right, in Canada, right?
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
want to know some. Siguro, I'll ask maybe around three questions, and then just tell us the difference between the local and the international scene. Okay. So, siguro yung una, what is the
Okay.
difference of electrical technologies in the local scene versus the international scene? Where are we? How are we faring there?
Okay. Here kasi the engineers here, or actually even kasi pwede kasing ano yan technologists, designers, technicians, or engineers. Uh, Unahin ko na muna salary-wise, ha. Okay.
Yo. Most important.
Salary-wise, uh, salary-wise, no, even if you are technologists or technicians here, it really pays well.
Wow.
Okay, it really pays well, and back there kasi, you know how important these skills are, di ba, right? Especially sa mga electricians, no? Lalo na sa Meralco, di ba? Yung mga lineman natin, di ba? Yung mga ganyan. So, they're very important, very critical. But I guess it's really also a function of the of the economy, right? So I I hope they can be paid more, especially because this is skilled jobs. No? So dito kasi yun nga, no, it pays well. Minsan nga nagugulat ako dito yung mga plumbers, yung mga technicians, naka 4 by 4 eh.
Grabe.
Oh,
Grabe naman.
right,
Wow.
right, right. But yeah, but again, nothing to take away from them kasi talagang mahirap yung trabaho, no.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
really takes a lot of skills, no, to be able to perform um all those kinds of jobs, and they're really in demand here. They're really in demand here. So yeah, so in terms of salary, yeah, so that's yung isang major difference na nakikita ko, no, which I hope it changes, no, in time. No? Uh, what else? In terms of
Technologies engineer,
tech,
kamusta?
okay, sa technologies naman, I think we have a lot of engineering technology professionals here. So they are more on the design aspect. Okay, uh, particularly for the electrical side. So sa design ng mga equipment, no, design ng mga systems. So yan, in demand ang mga technologies diyan. Okay. Back in the Philippines,
Mm.
I'm not really sure how in demand they are. No,
Mm.
probably it's also, again, if the market is booming. No, like sa atin kasi, I observe that uh, while education is there, but I think the demand for energy efficiency projects is really not yet at the level of let's say here in the US and Canada. No, sa atin kasi it's still a developing market, no, and the demand is quite low. Okay, and it's more driven by private sector. Right? Kaya
Ooh.
tinan mo, 'di ba, even Meralco, it's a
Yeah.
private sector ang Meralco, pero we're at the
Yeah.
forefront of energy efficiency,
Yeah. Diyan sa inyo, engineer, is
of
it
education.
government?
It
Government-led?
is government.
Wow.
It's actually it's both government and private sector. But the thing here is that uh the plans are really laid out well. So we have specific targets already in terms of net zero. Like for example, in the case of Hydro Ottawa, we are targeting net zero by 2030.
Wow.
So yeah, medyo ambitious kasi the government of Canada is actually targeting net zero by 2050, and electrification of the transport industry by 2040. So
Mm.
wala ka na
Yeah.
makikitang gasoline powered cars here by 2040. So, and
Wow.
again, the Hydro Ottawa is really a steps ahead, no? Again,
Yeah.
it's ambitious, but that's the goal, no? Net
Yeah.
zero by 2030, no? So it's going back. It's really driven by both the private and public sector.
Yeah.
And lalo na dito ang talaga nakikita ko is that the support of government in terms of education, in terms of incentives, ang laki talaga ng difference, no?
Yeah.
Here, you have a lot of, kasi you have targets. You are mandating industries, commercial
Exactly.
customers to go into energy efficiency, to into conservation, into demand response, so in all that. So and of course, it entails, sometimes it entails big investment. So dito
Oh,
talagang they really fund and finance
grabe.
projects, yeah, energy efficiency projects through incentives. So
Ganda.
ang dami. Actually nagulat talaga ako. Nagulat ako. I was really surprised that there are a lot of incentives that can be offered to customers here, both commercial and residential. Even ngayon nga, we're working on the zero emission vehicle infrastructure program incentive. So ito rin up to around $100,000 of incentives for
Yeah.
those who will put up electric charging stations. Okay, so whether level one, level two, or level three chargers, you have, you can save up to, you could apply for grants and incentives of for up to
Yeah.
50%, 50% of your project costs, or a maximum of $100,000. So magkano sa pesos yun, di ba?
Di ko na ma
So it's millions, di
grabe.
ba?
Million,
Okay,
million.
di
Yeah.
ba? Million. So that's I think 4.2, 4.3 million probably. Tama ba? Teka, naano na ako sa math. O, basta yun, 100,000 times 42. But anyway, so you can see, no? You can see there, nakikita mo na with all the plans in place, there really support from both private and public sector. Sa Philippines kasi ang naging observation ko, well, I hope baka nagbago na ngayon, ano, but when I was still there, my observation kasi it's really more private sector led. Of course nandiyan
Mm.
ang government, but I think it's really not enough pa kasi I think ako rin, ano, what I've learned is that government has to set example, right? Government has to set example. All their buildings and facilities should be, energy efficient. Kasi dito ganun din nakikita ko eh. Government is leading the way. Their buildings, their facilities, their transportation system, it's very efficient, no? So kapag nakikita mo kasi if government is leading the way and they're setting by example and they can, provide all these programs, grants, incentives. So of course, ang laking tulong din nun sa private sectors and all those customers who are pursuing energy efficiency projects. So yon in terms of those things, but I hope, no, with the passing of the energy efficiency and conservation law dyan sa Philippines, I think around 2019 yata, no, so that will really move the needle, no, to drive in education and hopefully investments, incentives, no, to customers para
Yeah.
talagang ano, ma-achieve yung mga goals of a
Yeah.
transition, no, of the energy transition to a more
Yeah.
sustainable one.